What's up, guys? To another episode of Over the Top Talk. I'm here with my co-host Anthony,
How we doing?
and today's podcast is going to be our final Mania predictions. We got Mania in about 2 days, and I think it's going to be a very great weekend. Looking forward to it. So I just want to start with introductions. First, we got the host from the Soul Sessions. How we doing today?
Hey folks, happy to be here. Yes, of course, my name is Soul. I'm host of the Scottish interview show called The Soul Sessions. As I mentioned, Scotland is the best part of the United Kingdom, minus the other parts they don't include in that section. I've interviewed a couple of big names, mostly from the States. I've interviewed the NWA World Heavyweight Champion EC3, former member of the Undisputed Era, Bobby Fish, many people up and down the UK, Corner of Progress I've interviewed as well, many people. But yeah, I'm happy to be here. I was at Mania 39 last year, so to see where we've gone from that to here, I'm very interested to see where things go. So let's get the predictions out of the way. Hopefully, there's not too much controversy, shall we say.
All right, with that, I'll switch to Lewis. How we doing today?
I'm doing great. My name is Emilian Lewis. I am a pro wrestler from Denmark, actually. I am the current Nordic Elite Wrestling Champion, and I have maybe a different look than Soul would have, or you guys as Over the Top would have. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But I'm a regular WWE watcher, and I watched that last year, and I've been watching the whole year through. So I'm excited for Mania, and I can't wait to talk about it.
Beautiful. Leo, how we doing today?
I'm feeling good. Everybody who doesn't know me, I'm Kicking It with Leo. I do a lot of wrestling content. I'm very looking forward to Mania this year. It's my first time watching Mania in a couple years, actually. Consistently. It's first time actually as a content creator actually watching WrestleMania, so I'm very excited.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
All right. With that, we can get right into it. Rhea versus Becky Lynch. I'll throw in my take. I don't see Rhea losing. I think I think having her pin Becky, beat Becky, is a really good decision. Just because Becky's, a Hall of Famer. Rhea's still very young. I don't see her dropping the title. I think she has way more story to tell. Maybe with Liv Morgan, just to throw out an example. So yeah, I just think for storyline purpose, I don't see Rhea losing at all. So with that, I'll pass it off to Soul.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. Obviously, Mania 39, I personally think Rhea had the at least third best match on the entire show. Her and Charlotte truly blew out the water. There was a lot of people thinking they should have main evented over the tag match, but I've always think story trumps everything, and the Usos and KO and Sami had that. But nonetheless, they brought an amazing match. With that being said, I think Rhea's title reign's been one of the most weakest title reigns in WWE, personally. I just don't feel the drive for it. I think, when you've got the likes of Gunther doing amazing, Roman doing amazing, US title, I just think it's been the weaker one. I absolutely adore what Io's doing with her championship right now. So for the Mania match, I honestly think Rhea will still retain, but I would love to see her drop the belt to someone from NXT to give that rub, to give that next step for them. Maybe someone like Aliyah Valkyrie or somebody of that caliber within NXT who deserves a championship run. Heck, even like a Roxanne Perez or Cora Jade, just so jumping from that title onto the next person will mean something, because yes, Rhea's been very over. She's been very, very popular. I've seen from the IWC who can't seem to calm down whenever she comes on the television. Please, folks, move on with yourself. She is good, but with this title reign, I think it's not something that she'll be remembered for when her career's all wrapped up.
All right, I'll pass it to Anthony.
Yeah, I kind of agree with him on that one. With her title reign being kind of weak, obviously, she's built up to be this huge, main event star, and I can agree with that her title reign's been kind of lackluster, but I agree with Owen too. At the same time, I think she has a lot more story to tell, likes of Bianca Belair, maybe Charlotte Flair running back again at some point. Maybe we get a match with Io Sky, Tiffany Stratton, just to name a few. So I could see her dropping the title before next year's Mania. Actually, maybe at sometime around maybe Survivor Series. I don't see it happening at like a Rumble or anything, but if it were to happen at next year's Mania, I think something like a Liv Morgan, maybe challenging her, winning the Rumble next year, challenging her to the main event of Mania 41, that'd be kind of cool. So something like that would be awesome. And I think definitely going that route, and maybe building her title reign to be more like memorable this year. Something else they could do. That'd be awesome.
Beautiful. I'll pass it to Lewis.
I kind of get what you guys are saying in terms of like her title reign not being the strongest, because I would say her rivals haven't been that. They haven't been her equals really, because her equals are people like Bianca Belair or Bailey or people like that, and she hasn't really faced any of that. So I would say in Becky Lynch, she's facing somebody who's more Rhea's equal, which for me at least makes it a lot more interesting. And I think the build has been a lot more even, kind of. And I think they're going to have a really, really good match. I think both women have shown to have great wrestling ability, and the storytelling should be on point. At least I would think so. Um, I would actually argue that Rhea is the strongest women's champion in all of WWE right now because of the way she has been positioned with the Judgment Day, and the fact that she is heavily featured throughout the entire year, throughout Monday Night Raw, NXT, sometimes on SmackDown. She's just very, very heavily featured, and I think them going to Perth, Australia, and having that show there, and her being the main event and the focal point, and she seems to be turning into this spectacle, this real superstar, in my opinion. And I would say that she retains at WrestleMania. I think she does beat Becky Lynch, and I think she goes on to like really create some strong stories with bigger and grander rivals that can match her energy. That's my prediction.
Beautiful. Last up here, Leo. What do you think?
I also think Rhea is going to retain. I think you guys made a lot of great points. I think there's still a lot of stories that they can have with Rhea as champion. I think they already announced Clash of the Castle in Scotland, which I'm looking forward to. And it's already being speculated that her opponent for that show will be none other than Nikki Cross. So that'll just let you know that they're looking for more opportunities for other women to be elevated. And like you guys said, I do think her reign, I don't see her reign being dragged out till next year's WrestleMania. I feel like they don't need to necessarily do the long championship reign in my personal opinion, but I do think she will drop it very soon. I think me personally, I think she's going to drop it at SummerSlam, and I do think Liv Morgan might be the one to take the title because I think they're definitely playing the long-term story with these two.
Great. Definitely looking forward to that match. I feel like that match might have had besides like Rock and Roman. I feel like the build was generally very good compared to the other matches. So definitely looking forward to that. Moving down the matches, we got the 6-pack tag team ladder match. I'll speak to Anthony first on that.
I think personally, like starting off, I think this match has potential to steal the show. The ladder match, all the years have been incredible, and with the talent they have in there, just to name a few, Judgment Day, DIY, Austin Theory, and Grayson Waller, the New Day, like that's just it's gonna be an amazing show. Personally, I believe this is the match that's gonna split the titles. We've been asking that for a long time. I think the Raw titles are going to go to the Awesome Truth, Miz and R-Truth, and the SmackDown titles are going to go to Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, and they can kind of build off that. I heard something about new tag team championships possibly getting announced after that at some point, maybe at Backlash at some point. But yeah, definitely. I think splitting the titles up can make that match even better. And we're going to see amazing spots, amazing in-ring work from all these men. And it's about time that the Judgment Day get to put somebody else over, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
I was throwing mine. I agree with Anthony with Raw titles going to R-Truth and The Miz. Also think the SmackDown will go to Waller and Austin Theory just because I feel like they've been hyping up that Austin Theory tag team a little bit too much lately. But yeah, I agree with Anthony. The spots are going to be beautiful. I love ladder matches, so I'm looking forward to it. And obviously looking forward to seeing where Finn Balor and Priest stories go. Maybe Priest cashes in later in the night. So I'll pass it to Leo with his thoughts.
Yeah, I kind of the same as you guys. I do think Awesome Truth are going to win the Raw tag titles, and I think A-Town Down Under are going to win the SmackDown tag title. I know a lot of people want to see New Catch Republic win the tag titles, but I think what they probably could do is play the long game and then kind of build them up to go after Grayson Waller. Because I think with a lot of the baby faces, the chase is always better than the actual reign. And I do think they're going to have them chase around with A-Town Down Under going into the summer, probably leading into SummerSlam and everything like that.
Beautiful. I'll pass it to Soul.
Yeah, I definitely think that this match is going to split the tag titles, and I hate those designs. I always say that they look like, bubble gum with like how vibrant the straps are. It's absolute pish. Can't stand it. I do agree though. I think Awesome Truth will take the Raw tag team titles, but I think for the SmackDown tag team titles is going to be the New Catch Republic. The reason why I think that is I think at Clash of the Castle in my neck of the woods, which is a beauty to hear in itself, I think they're going to do New Catch Republic versus either Pretty Deadly or Gallus being called up for that kind of crowd environment. And if you've not seen what Gallus have done in the past, we have a local promotion here called ICW. Check out the stuff they've done within that promotion. It's absolutely, best way to describe it is barbaric, and they're absolute brutes in that kind of style of matches they can do. But I know some people are really going to be like, oh, what about DIY? Personally, I don't like DIY. I think they're overrated. I think they did all their best stuff with NXT, and they've just been around for too long. It's a shame. Ciampa, I think, could make an excellent singles competitor, and Gargano, I think, could as well. But I think we just did too much in NXT.
Beautiful. We'll pass it to Lewis.
Well, splitting the titles, I hadn't really thought about that. And I don't really see that happening from just my point of view. I do see this match as being like a real spectacle. Like you said, a lot of spots, a lot of crazy stuff happening, and just a whole lot of fun, basically. There's a whole pool of really talented people, and I think that the story with Awesome Truth and Judgment Day and the New Day and DIY and all that, I think there's a lot of stuff that can go down. I would say prediction-wise, I would say because it is WrestleMania and it can be unpredictable at times, I would probably say that Awesome Truth could run away with the titles, but I don't really see him being split up in any way. But I do see Awesome Truth winning also because I think Damian Priest might have something to do later on night 2 with his briefcase. I don't know. I'm not going to call anything. I'm just saying it might happen.
All right. Guess we can move with the next match. We got LWO versus Santos and Dawn. Me personally, when they announced it was Dragon Lee, I was immediately thinking in my head that Carlito's this is gonna be his heel turn, and now I'm sticking with that. I think the heel turn for Carlito is gonna come, and he's gonna cost Rey Mysterio this match. So I'm gonna give that win to Santos and Dominic, but I'll pass it to Soul.
Yeah, I don't know why this is on Mania. No offense. I think it's pointless. Just put it on SmackDown or something like that. I really don't know why it's not Carlito in this match and Dragon Lee. Dragon Lee basically just arrived, and Carlito's been there since a good fair bit now. I remember last year, obviously, it was Dom and Ray in a match which was stellar, and I loved it. This year, I think Dom and Santos will take the win, being 1-1, and then next year Mania it will be Ray and Dom in a mask versus career match or something like that, just to wrap up it as a kind of trilogy. But yeah, this is probably one of the weaker matches on Mania for me, and I'll definitely be using this to stock up my pint.
Yeah, probably a bathroom break match. I'll pass it to Leo for that.
Man, I'm the same way. I did not care for this match being announced, honestly. Um, but I do think that Dom and Santos are going to win. I think they're going to play long term with these two. And then maybe you have WrestleMania 41 where you get the culmination of this feud in its entirety with Dom and Ray having their final match and it being hair versus career because, he's been growing out the Eddie Guerrero type hair and the mullet and everything like that. He put it on the line. Ray puts his career on the line. You just let those two go at it.
Beautiful. I'll go with Lewis.
Yeah, we can agree that the build up here hasn't been that interesting. And they could have had it on SmackDown. It is what it is. It's on WrestleMania now. If I remember correctly, this isn't the first time that Dragon Lee has has been put in a match where Carlito was supposed to go or should have gone or whatever. So I don't know, maybe that's a trend. Maybe Carlito is physically not quite where the WWE want him to be yet. We don't really know. We can just speculate. I personally think that Santos has been doing a fantastic job since he's turned heel. And I think he's improved a lot, and I think he continues to do that. So I do think him and Dom and the work that they put in, I think they've earned the win at WrestleMania, and I do see them going over. That's about what I have for that match, basically.
Yep. To finish us off, Anthony.
I agree with everybody's take here. I think we all have a little good parts here. I believe Carlito is going to turn. I think that's kind of a given at this point. We saw him kind of get excited on SmackDown when they were going to announce it, and then Dragon Lee came out and he kind of looked a little disappointed. And I think we're going to bring back the Caribbean cool Carlito. Got to bring back his old theme song too, because this new one is really not doing it for me at all. And we can get, I don't know if he's going to go on his own thing or join Legado del Fantasma, but seeing a heel Carlito go after Rey Mysterio, that'll be a great match, and hopefully that goes well. But for the match in total, I agree with Soul. I don't think it should be on WrestleMania. I think it's kind of a boring kind of match with no build up at all. It's kind of last minute, like a week or two in the making. I think they really missed a big shot with it. It could have been really cool if it was a faction match. The whole faction, that would have been a lot better in my opinion. But I see Santos and Dom taking the win here easily. I think they're gonna go right through them. Carlito heel turn towards the end of the match, and yeah, I think that's gonna be it.
Amazing. Definitely gonna be my either bath, snack break, something. But with that, guess we'll go down to the brother versus brother, Jimmy versus Jay. I'm excited for this match. I just wish there was more than just like one little short promo and Jay being assaulted like 8 times. But to finalize this, I'm just gonna give Jay the win. Jimmy's at the upper hand pretty much the whole feud, if you would say that. So I think Jay will finally get his revenge, get his win, and probably see them two later on in the night. So looking forward to that. And with that, I guess I'll pass it back to Anthony.
I agree with you totally on this. I think the build-up has been pretty weak with this match. I really hope we don't see Soul get involved or anybody else in the Bloodline get involved whatsoever. Like, let them fight 1v1, like, please. But I think Jay's taking the win here. I think it's gonna be a hard-fought match. Probably gonna go like 25 minutes. It's gonna be like, I hope it's like a banger match. I hope both men get a lot of offense in there. I hope it's not one-sided affair. I wish this match was actually the no DQ match, because we've been saying we want it to be like a City of Brotherly Love street fight, something like that. But Yeah, I think it's gonna be a great match. Jay's gonna take the win and probably help Cody later on the night.
Easy. I'll pass it to Soul.
So it's interesting, right? I mean, we can easily say that Jey Uso is very over with the crowd and he's loved. Jimmy Uso, on the other hand, ever since he turned heel at last year's SummerSlam, which I thought was one of the worst shows of the year, he's just been the lackey. He's like a little puppy dog to Roman. There's like a little poodle that just walks around and does his little beck and call. I think, if anything, he needs to win this to gain some knowledge. If Jimmy would to lose this, this is equivalent to Marty Jannetty getting put through the glass window. It does nothing to him. He would be absolutely I see him as a joke. Solo is more menacing and more important to the Bloodline than Jimmy Uso is. So I'm going to say Jimmy Uso is going to win this match, and then they'll redo this match at Backlash.
Beautiful. I'll pass it to Lewis.
I think you both have good points actually, because I can see this match go either way. I do see Jay winning. I also see Jimmy winning. I think it's one of those matches for me. I don't think it needs a stipulation necessarily, because I do think they have so much history with like ever since 2020, like they've been like brought up through this whole bloodline story and been rebuilt and repackaged, and they've had layers upon layers upon layers of personality added to them. So I think there's plenty of stuff to build around, but I don't think necessarily the build up, like you guys talked about, have been very particularly interesting necessarily in terms of what it could have been. But even still, I think they have a lot of history to draw on, and I think this will be one of those matches that also has the potential to steal the show, because if they do it right, I think they can really connect with the audience and make it feel like something special. Uh, who wins? I don't know. This one, I don't know. Could
All right.
be.
Pass it to Leo, or unless you had something else.
No, that's it.
All right. I'll pass it to Leo.
I gotta go Jimmy on this one too, because I feel like on one hand I feel bad for Jay because he pretty much getting destroyed this entire feud, getting caught at opportunity after opportunity numerous times. He got cost the Universal title, and I agree with Soul that pay-per-view was trash. I did not like it at all. That was the worst main event that they had. Looking back at it, um, he got cost the IC title and tag team numerous times, and he's pretty much just been there, like honestly. But I do think Jimmy needs to win more. I don't think it really hurts the character of Jay too much, because I still think he's still gonna be over as he is right now. Um, because honestly, I think Rikishi's probably gonna be there, and maybe this might segue into what we see maybe on night one in the main event or night two. Possibly these two coming back together in the future. But I do think they should keep them separate for now. But I do think Jimmy needs to win, because I feel like they could really build up Jimmy's being on par as Jay is right now. And like Soul said, he's pretty much been looking like a lackey this entire time. Like, what was the point of him like joining the bloodline again after he pretty much convinced his brother to leave only to go back? That was so stupid. But Jimmy needs to win more than Jay does.
All right. Moving down the line, we got Bianca, Jade, and Naomi versus Damage Control, and simply, I'm just gonna give it to Jade's team, just because I don't see them having Jade Cargill, in Mania and having her lose. Plus, I honestly wish it was Bianca and Naomi for the women's tag titles, but just to finalize it, I'll give this win to Jade. I'll pass it back to Leo.
Yeah, I do think Jade, Naomi, and Bianca are gonna win, honestly, because I feel like it would make no sense to have Jade come in her first match and lose, like you said. And honestly, if you remember back to 2016, we had a faction called Team Bad. Back then it was consistent of Tamina, Naomi, and Sasha. This could be a revamp of that, but more of a dominant. And honestly, with the way they've been booked as of late, I wouldn't be surprised if in the future they decide to turn all three of these women heel and let them run ruckshot of the women's division. So I really think that they're gonna give them the win. I was in the same situations thinking they were going to do the tag titles, but I think the reason why they didn't do it, only because if Asuka's dealing with the injury, you don't want to risk further injury, and this can be a way to protect her where she doesn't have to take as many bumps as the other women and stuff like that, but still having her be part of Mania nonetheless.
Beautiful. I'll pass it to Lewis.
Yeah, I would probably say Bianca, Naomi, and Kato is gonna take this one. There hasn't been a lot of build up necessarily. It's just I think this will mainly be a showcase to show what Jade Cargill can really do, because she's been built up and built up and built up, and they're finally, it seems like at least, ready to let her loose. So I think this will be a fun little match, and it will showcase Bianca, it will showcase Naomi, hopefully, and it will definitely showcase Cargill. So I'll take those three for the win.
All right, I'll pass it to Soul.
Yeah, I definitely agree as well. I think Jade's team's going to get the win. I think Jade will pin Dakota. With Jade as well, I'm very interested to see how she was. You know, I remember watching Jade debut with Shaq against Red Velvet and Cody in AEW, her doing her thing and then having the dominant inaugural TBS title run as well. So I'm very interested to see how she's evolved from that point to now, and I hope for the better as well, because I always did love Jade's stuff in AEW, and her going to WWE, I fully understand it is a big business move and wanting to be a superstar. WWE is going to make you do that, and more and more, you know, I'm just happy to see her do well, and I'm just really excited to see how she's grown, you know, from AEW to now being in WWE.
All right, and lastly, Anthony.
Yeah, I agree with everybody here. I think, obviously, we all said, you know, Jade, Bianca, and Naomi. And I think they're going to take the win. And I think it's going to be like a showcase, like Lewis said. I think they're going to showcase those three women, show how good Jade Cargill is. We already know how good Bianca is, and we know how good Naomi is. So, yeah, I think this is going to be more of a squash match. I think it's going to be like maybe a 5-minute to 10-minute match, just showcasing them. And I think it's going to be a really good match, though. I think they're going to showcase damage control too. You know, I think we're going to see them get some good work in there, some good spots. But yeah, really excited to see how that plays out.
All right, and moving on to the Intercontinental Championship match between Gunther and Sami Zayn. As much as I want to say Sami, I think it's overall going to be Gunther. I just don't see Sami ending Gunther's title reign. I think also with Gunther, I feel like there's more story to tell. I wish Chad Gable was honestly in this match, because I think they put on a really good match on Raw. But nevertheless, I'll give that win to Gunther. I think he's going to retain, and I'll pass it to Lewis.
Yeah, and I agree with you like 100% because it feels like this should have been Chad Gable, but it isn't. It's Sami Zayn, who is also very popular and beloved, but it doesn't feel right to have him beat Gunther here. And again, this is one of those matches where it could go either way, and I think people are going to complain or be satisfied either way. But I do see Gunther retaining here, and I think the real story-driven money match here is Gunther versus Sami Zayn, because it seems like there's something special, and whether the WWE predicted that or not, that's the situation they're in. And I think the only reason why Chad is involved in this story still is because of the attachment and the connection he made with the fans doing his first run-in with Gunther, and the one where his daughter was crying and all that. I think they have something special, and I think they recognize that. So I see Gunther retaining.
Amazing. I'll pass it to Soul.
Yeah, I agree as well. I think Gunther's going to retain as well. I remember seeing that freeway IC match last year with Sheamus and Drew, and it was just one of the most hard-hitting matches I've seen in person. For Gunther's title reign, though, I think he's going to drop it before Bash in Berlin, and he's going to challenge whoever's champion at that point. Two people I would love to see dethrone Gunther would have to either be Braun Breaker or Ilya Dragunov, because their match for the NXT UK Championship back in the day was an absolute beast of a match. And if these two can do that with how Gunther's evolved from being Walter to now, I think they could top that.
All right, I'll pass it to Anthony.
Yeah, I love how you said that about Ilya Dragunov and Walter's match. That match cooked. That was an amazing match. But talking about this, I think Sami Zayn's more so a pawn in this. I think he's gonna lose to Gunther, like we've all said, and we could possibly see Chad Gable turn on Sami Zayn. You know, maybe get jealous of Gunther. Maybe he wants that moment to show that he is the real one that deserves this, to show that his daughter that he can win and bring a smile to her face. And I don't see Chad Gable not getting jealous somehow, some way. I know how he's training him right now. He's his trainer, but I think inevitably we're gonna get Gunther versus Chad Gable at some point, whether it be at SummerSlam, whether it be at Clash of the Castle, something like that. I think eventually we're going to get that match. That's all what we all want. And I think Chad Gable is going to eventually get that championship from Gunther.
All right, and last, Leo.
I'm going Gunther too. Like I feel like Chad Gable was the right person, I think, to take it off of him. The three people that I think that I personally would want to see, I want to see either be Dragunov, Jey Uso, or Chad Gable, because I feel like one of those three are more likely going to be the one to take the title from him. So I do think Sami Zayn. I think it's going to be a great match. Don't get me wrong, but I just can't really buy into Sami Zayn only because I feel like his story should have been like him finding a way to be on Mania. But I feel like honestly they can continue to build this and him going into Money in the Bank and have him win Money in the Bank this year, because I feel like that might be his story. Because I think if you look a couple months ago, his whole story was with Drew, and that really never really it seems like it never really finished the feud between those two. And I feel like they still can kind of revisit that if they want to down the line and have that be for the world title. So I think that's where he should be focused on. But I do think Gunther is going to retain, and I think he probably loses it at Bash in Berlin, honestly, to Chad Gable.
All right, and moving on to the main event of night one, obviously, Rock and Roman, Cody and Seth with Bloodline rules on the line. I don't see The Rock losing at all. I'm gonna throw it out. I'm gonna say The Rock will pin Cody, and I think night two just needs that Bloodline rules, and I just don't see them not doing Bloodline rules. So obviously we saw Cody and Seth on Raw get like assaulted Cody last week too, but I don't see The Rock and Roman taking any pins at all this night. So with that, I'll pass it to Lewis.
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't think they're gonna like waive like bloodline rules match and then not use it. So I think you're definitely right in saying that The Rock and Roman's gonna win. I don't think, however, that The Rock will pin Cody. I don't know. I don't see that. I would, if it was me, and if I were to fantasy book it a little bit, I would probably say that Roman pins Cody, just to like bring back those feelings of like, oh shit, he let us down again, and you can have those pictures, and you can create more doubt in the hero's mind. It's like, can he beat this guy? Can he really beat this guy? That's just how I would do it. But regardless of what I would do, I think the build up here and the way they've seen to pivot and the whole story and everything with The Rock basically, I think has been amazing. And I think this is head and shoulders above everything else in terms of build up and storytelling. And yeah, I can't wait to see it. But I think the Samoans will take this one.
And I'll pass it to Soul.
It's interesting this as well for myself as well, because I've never actually seen The Rock wrestle. I knew him as a movie star before a wrestler, so this is going to be interesting for myself to see in general. I think having Rock pin Cody would be a smart move, because spoiling for the second one, I think Cody's going to take the win on that one, and then you could be like, well, ranking wise, the final boss pinned the American Nightmare, and the American Nightmare pinned the Tribal Chief. Bits of a hierarchy there. Then you could run Rock and Cody back in the future. Problem with that is, though, Rock's going to be going away to do filming for a live action Moana film that I don't think, why the hell are we doing that, for God's sake? We remaking movies from 5 years ago? Come on, folks, get with the modern times, please. But I honestly think Rock is going to be the victor of this match because you're going to need bloodline rules for I'm sure all the chicanery that's going to go on for the second night. I just wonder with Seth though, like, are they going to have him get taken out halfway through the match and thrown over the barricade or something like that, and just left out the gutter, or is something else going to happen with Seth that maybe he'll take the pin and be even more broken for his championship match on the second night? I do think though, if somehow Cody and Seth win, it doesn't spell well for Cody's chances the second night.
I'll pass it to Leo.
Yeah, I gotta go Rock and Roman on this one. I do think Rock should pin, Cody, only because I feel like I feel like the match is probably gonna be Rock and Cody for the title at SummerSlam, and I'm pretty sure Roman's going to take time off at the Mania anyway. So I feel like what I think is going to happen with Seth, I do think Drew is going to play a factor because if you go back to Raw, I think was it last week or the week before, you see in the background where we had the whole our truth segment. Paul Heyman was talking to Drew. We don't know what that was or what this is going to be alluding to, but I do think it's going to lead to whatever this match is going to be taking place on night one. So I do think that Drew is going to play a factor. He's going to probably take Cody, not take out Cody, but take out Seth, and then Cody's going to pretty much have to go finish the match in a 2-on-1 handicap type of scenario.
All right, and to finish it off, Anthony.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of like all you guys' takes on this. I think the Rock and Roman are gonna win, 100%. If we look back, like all reliable what they do, the babyface gets beat up multiple nights in a row, and then they come back at Mania. But I don't think that's gonna happen this time. I think this time, Rock and Roman are gonna take the win. I think it makes sense if Rock, pins Cody, and that makes the most sense. But I also like the idea of Roman pinning Cody too. I think that would be cool. But I more so think Rock's gonna get that pin. I kind of like I like Leo's take on that Drew's gonna get involved, take out Seth. That's pretty cool. Gonna make it a 2-on-1 handicap match. I think this match has a lot of possibilities to play out, but I think the end goal, the end decision is that Rock and Roman are gonna win, but I just don't know how yet.
All right. And to move into night two, kind of talking about Seth versus Drew already. Guess Seth versus Drew. I think Drew's finally gonna get his moment in front of the crowd, and I will take Drew to win this. But I'm not leaving out the possibility that Damian Priest is gonna cash in on Drew. But I'm just gonna throw that out there. And whether he cashes in during the match or after, I think we will see Priest's cash in during this match at some point. So, and overall, I'll take Drew, but whatever happens after happens. I'll pass it to Leo.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Drew on this one. I think he deserves this moment. I think with this whole character change, he is definitely putting up some of the best, great character work that I've seen from him in quite some time. Um, it makes all the sense in the world to give him his run, considering everything that he's been through since pandemic up until now, and everything that he's had to go through to get to this moment that he is at now, and this incarnation that he's in now. However, I do think Damian Priest will cash in. I do think after Drew wins, I think with Punk being there, I think Punk is gonna have something to do with the outcome of this match or however this match is afterwards. Because Drew and Punk, they're leading to something very, very soon, and there's no love lost between them, and there's no love lost between him and Punk and Seth either. So I do think that he's going to play a factor into something happening with these two in this match. And I do think Damian will come in and he will cash in and he probably will become world champion, even though I don't see it being a long, lengthy reign and everything like that. But I do think this could be a way to kind of have him at least have a 2-month reign, and then maybe Drew can win it right back at Clash or something like that, since it is in Scotland.
All right, I'll pass it over to Soul.
Yeah, I mean, I'm Scottish, and there's three things we love. We love a drink, we love a curry, and we love Drew McIntyre. So those are the staples of our country. I want Drew to win, just not only out of national pride, but this was a guy who was robbed of a championship win with the pandemic in front of nobody. He kind of deserves that now with a crowd. Could I see Priest cash in? Yes. Could he be successful? Yes. But I don't think Damian Priest is world championship material. No offense. I really don't see him as that.
Yeah.
If anything, I would love Finn Balor to cost Priest, and we can get a Finn Balor and Damian Priest feud out of this. Then at Clash of the Castle in Scotland, even though I don't like him myself, Drew versus Punk would be an amazing feud to have in that kind of environment. So I think that's where we could go from there.
Interesting.
Right up pass it to Lewis.
I would actually say that since CM Punk has come back into the fold and the picture and been involved with Seth and Drew, I think all three guys have stepped up their game immensely, actually. Especially Drew McIntyre, because I think his delivery in his promos and his work and his storytelling and his whole presentation have he's just at another level, man. He's firing on all cylinders, it seems. And I think with the situation that Seth's in with his knee and maybe his back, I don't know, but definitely his knee, and the fact that he won his first title and his second title actually in front of nobody. I think this is the time for him to really get the big one and have his career defining run. I do see him getting this. And I think everything that's been put in place with him and Seth, him and Jay, him and Punk, he has a litany of opponents for the future. And I think Drew is ready for the pressure, and I think he's gonna take it as a challenge like Seth did and really keep building and elevating the world title. So I think this will be one of those gems of WrestleMania, one of those defining matches that's gonna be talked about. So if the WWE really delivers and this becomes one of the biggest, if not the biggest and best WrestleMania of all time, I think this will be one of the defining matches that will be a deciding factor.
All right, and to finish it off, Anthony.
I think, well, first off the start, I think Drew McIntyre is, in my opinion, the best thing happening on Monday Night Raw right now. He is so entertaining, just clowning CM Punk every night. It's just hilarious. It is must watch TV. But I think we'll keep it short. I think Drew's gonna get the win, but I think Damian Priest is gonna come out. I think in night one, when the Judgment Day, when they lose their belts, we can see some bickering between Finn and Damian, maybe some kind of arguments going on the Judgment Day, and they're not going to be on good terms. Well, kind of feuding a little bit, having a little bit of issues going into night two, and then I could see Finn costing Damian that cash in for that World Heavyweight Championship, and finally we're going to get Damian Priest versus Finn Balor at some point, and I totally agree with this. I think CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre at Clash of the Castle is a money match to happen. Yeah. The fans want that so badly, and seeing that in front of a Scottish crowd, all gonna be backing Drew McIntyre. They're gonna be booing CM Punk out of the building. It's gonna be awesome for the World Heavyweight Championship too. So I'm taking Drew McIntyre here, 100%, and hopefully that's what they do.
I got one even better for you because I've seen this idea thrown around. So remember a couple of months ago where they were bickering a while, and when JD first gave him the briefcase, it was the purple one. Mm-hmm. I've been seeing this idea thrown around, and I actually like it. What if they actually switch the contract with the actual briefcases, and when Damian goes to cash in, the actual contract to cash in isn't in there. So JD McDonough was playing Damian Priest, and Finn Balor screws over Damian Priest, and he cashes in the real contract, and Finn Balor becomes the new World Heavyweight Champion. Now that I can see happening.
All right.
That would be funny, though. That would be kind of funny.
That would.
moving down, I mean, I think I have another bathroom break match. Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits versus the Final
God.
Testament.
Oh no. Nope.
I know it was to
Put
throw
this on a
Bobby on the
kickoff show.
card, but
No. Oh my
I'm
God.
I'm just gonna say it quick: Bobby Lashley and Street Profits, and I'll just pass it to Anthony.
I mean, like, who is the Final Testament? Like, let's be real. Like, who are they? Like, they don't even matter. They don't even matter at all. They are so irrelevant to the point where I forget about them. I forget they're active members in the roster. Like, and this is like a house show match. This is not even SmackDown. Like this match is something I would not even want to see on, like, never mind WrestleMania, the biggest show of them all. Like, let's be real. We all know it's just to get Bobby Lashley onto the show. Like, we know that, because he missed last year's Mania. But, like, this is kind of a disservice in my opinion. Like, give him a better match in any way. Like, this is not it. But I do think Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits, they're going to take the win here. I think it's going to be kind of a quick match, but yeah, give me Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits here.
All right, I'll pass it to Lewis.
Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. That's it.
Easily. All right, Leo.
I actually had the Final Testament winning.
Whoa, that's a curveball. All right.
Right. Lastly, Soul.
Jesus fucking Christ. Here's what's going to happen, right? The Final Testament shitty theme's going to hit, and you're just going to see everyone piss off in the arena. They're all going to get their merch, they're going to get their expensive hot dogs and too many expensive drinks. I'll be making a cocktail here because I don't give a shite about this. No offense. I don't give a shit. It's a shame the Street Profits, a great team they are, and especially someone of Montez Ford's caliber, is chucked into this messy shite. Canyon Cross could have been something great, but I think every time you mention his name, everyone just thinks of Gimpy Gladiator. AOP, they're just there for the tag team division. They can be great individuals, but what they're working with right now, it's not gourmet, it's fast food kind of pish. So honestly, anyone could win, and it would just be a match that's on the cage match ratings.
All right. Moving down to LA Knight versus AJ Styles. I've really liked the build up to this match. I think it's gonna be a very good match. I know people were, a little bit upset that LA Knight wasn't in the United States title match, but I think this is an opportunity for LA Knight to get a win at Mania, continue to be over. So yeah, I'm gonna give it to LA Knight. I think this is gonna be a very good match. So with that, I'll pass it to Anthony.
Yeah, I totally agree with that here. AJ Styles can take a pin. He can take this pin and it won't affect him in any way. But I think LA Knight needs to win this match. If they want him to still be, a main event caliber star, he needs this match. But we saw him jump AJ Styles out of his own home, beeping his horn, all that stuff, acting like a security guard and like attacking him and all that stuff. So I'm taking LA Knight here, definitely, without a doubt. And yeah.
All right, pass it to Soul.
Yeah, I'm the same. LA Knight, I was so surprised he wasn't on the Mania card last year because every time me and my mates went to the Superstore, everyone was doing the yeah chants. So I'm just glad that he's actually on a Mania card this year. I think he's going to take the win. AJ can easily take a loss. Where AJ goes from there, though, that's the question. Hopefully, LA Knight gets the win at Mania, goes into a title picture, and gets a celebratory moment.
With that, I'll pass it to Lewis.
I would say LA Knight takes this one as well. I think I don't know. He's just primed for something big, and one of the things that they seem to fear a little bit with LA Knight was, does his popularity dwindle? Does he get uninteresting? Is he just a one-trick pony? But it doesn't seem that way. It seems like people still want to see him. They still want to do the air and the dummy and all that. So I think him and AJ are going to go out there and put on the best match that LA Knight has ever produced. Maybe. But I do see that LA Knight is going to take this one.
I'm gonna say the same thing. LA Knight wins. I mean, it's his first WrestleMania. His first WrestleMania that he's competing on. He's got to win. And I know people been saying AJ. I mean, I feel like AJ, he's gonna still be protected, like you guys said, even though he's already alluded that he's gonna get a new theme song, which I'm excited to see what his new theme will sound like. But I don't think that's still gonna change the fact that LA Knight has to win this one. I feel like if what you like you said earlier with what's next for AJ, maybe if Cody does win, which we'll talk about later on, maybe that's his first feud. Maybe that can be the first feud for Cody.
Hmm. Definitely.
All right, and moving down to the triple threat for the United States Championship with obviously I want Randy to win, just my heart's there, but I know it's gonna go to Logan Paul just because that SummerSlam location's in his hometown. Triple H already said something special is planned for Logan Paul, so I do see Logan Paul retaining, and I don't think it's gonna be a fair way to retain. I think the brass knuckles are gonna come into effect. I'll say Kevin Owens is probably there to just eat this pin, just so Randy doesn't have to eat it. So I'll give that win to Logan Paul, and with that, I'll pass it to Soul.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Logan Paul as a person. I still remember his YouTube antics and thinking just an absolute massive dick. I think he'll retain his title, but I don't think he will be keeping it until SummerSlam. I think he'll lose it before then. And at SummerSlam, he's going to face a world champion because, to be fair to him, he did well against Roman at the Saudi show. So in his hometown and doing that in a world title picture, I think something we could see in the future.
All right, I'll pass it to Lewis.
Yeah, I would probably give this one to Logan Paul as well. I think he has shown to be very talented in the ring against different types of opponents, and I think Owen, you had like probably the most accurate prediction. Just like I would have like in terms of like I don't you would want Randy to win because like he's a legend, he deserves it, but at the same time, it does kind of make sense for Logan to keep it. And he is kind of like, he does have a big following, and like a lot of people are watching him. And everywhere he goes, he brings the US title and he brings the WWE with him. And it just signed this big Prime deal. Like Prime will be on the mat on WrestleMania throughout the whole show, as far as I understand. So they have all that, and they have him, and like it would only make sense from like a business point of view to like have him go over. And I think you're right in saying that Kevin Owens is probably going to be the one that will eat the knuckles or something. And the one thing at least that I know is going to happen, it will be a fun match. I think it's going to be a really fun match.
All right, pass it to Anthony.
Yeah, I think Logan Paul is definitely getting this win. I think Kevin Owens is gonna take the pin here. I agree with Soul. I think him having a match at SummerSlam for a bigger title than the US title, like the World Heavyweight Championship, would be much better off. The United States Championship still kind of feels not as a main event caliber championship as of right now because he's kind of been a part timer with the belt, hasn't really had time to grow it or anything. But say if he does win here and is a more active performer, puts on more matches throughout the summertime, maybe has a nice match of Money in the Bank, Clash of the Castle, stuff like that, maybe we could see him bring it into SummerSlam and get that match with Randy Orton, which people have been talking about, to finally give Randy Orton a championship run now that he's back. It wouldn't be that long, I hope, maybe like a 2 to 3 month run, but yeah, give me Logan Paul here. But as long as I know, I'm still kind of confused about the United States Championship though and the caliber of it. But yeah, give me Logan Paul.
All right, pass it to Leo to finish it.
Yeah, I'm going Logan on this one too. I think it's solely for the simple fact that Cleveland is going to be having SummerSlam, and I think he's going to play a big role on that show. I'm still think that what's gonna happen. Is gonna challenge for like a world title. I can see him getting drafted to Raw with the draft and everything, and he is gonna challenge for whoever's the world heavyweight champion at SummerSlam. So I do think Logan Paul is gonna retain, but I do think he might lose it to LA Knight at some point before SummerSlam, or probably like at Money in the Bank or something.
All right. And moving down to the next women's title, Io Sky versus Bailey. Io having one of the possibly worst title runs ever. I think she's defended like once or twice in like 200 days, 200 plus days actually. So I'm hoping they give Bailey this win. I think she will win. I think she deserves it. With her work in the with her work with damage control over the past couple of years. I think she's perfected it, and I hope she really gets this Mania moment with the fans. So yeah, give me Bailey for that, and I'll pass it to Lewis to start off.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I would say Bailey has earned this, and I think from like where they started with damage control and the way the story has developed and the way that Bailey is regaining her popularity as babyface, I think she's set up for what is supposed to overtake and become her defining run. I think because she had a really good one, like when she was with Sasha Banks during the pandemic, and she broke records, I think. But I think her next run here is this will be special. So yeah, give me Bailey for the win.
All right, I'll pass it to Soul.
Yeah, no, I agree. Bailey as well for this. This is Bailey's first singles match at Mania against somebody with Io. I feel like she's truly deserved this as well. Winning the Rumble as well. That's an achievement on her career. And Bailey's always just been an enjoyable wrestler to me. I remember seeing her at the original Clash of the Castle and people doing the Bailey chant, and it was probably the loudest thing in that whole arena. Despite Tyson Fury knocking Austin Fury's block off, which was still enjoyable to me. I think with Bailey getting this title was where do you go from there, and I think Tiffany Stratton could be the one to dethrone Bailey and go on a run afterwards, but that's just me. But no, I'm very happy for Bailey to get this moment, and hopefully she gets this win.
All right, pass it to Leo.
Yeah, I got to go Bailey on this one. I think she definitely deserves it. I mean, with all the hard work that she's put in to make the women's division as a whole what it is, she carried the women's division on her back. And I think with them giving her the Rumble win, it was their way of saying thank you for everything that you've done for the women's division. So that was pretty much them giving her flowers. And I think they're going to have her let her win this title. And you can kind of start building up new stars post Mania. I mean, you're probably going to have a rematch with Damage Control, possibly. With Io for sure, just because it's probably gonna end up happening where she's gonna want a rematch. But I do think, like I actually like the Tiffany Stratton idea. I think that would be a great way to build her up and kickstart her rise to the top of the women's division.
All right, and to finish it off, Anthony.
Yeah, I think Bailey's gonna win 100%. I think at some point in the match we're gonna see Damage Control come out. Try to distract Bailey in somehow, some way, and I think we're finally going to see Bianca come out. Bianca Belair is going to come out, and we're finally going to see her forgive Bailey for everything she's done, and we're going to see them kind of unite, and her finally realizing that Bailey is for real. She's not just tricking her. Not going to go back to Damage Control anyway, shape or form. But yeah, I agree with Leo here. I think Io's going to want a rematch at some point. Probably later down the line in the summer. But yeah, give me Bailey here. 100%. Definitely Bailey.
All right. And obviously the last match, main event night 2, Roman versus Cody, like we talked about before. After seeing all like the edits, videos online, I just can't wait for this match to finally happen. Obviously, last year was a very good match. I think this year's going to be good. Lots of shenanigans, lots of spots. I think it's going to go like a long time. But in overall, I'll give the win to Cody. Obviously, multiple things can happen. I just can't see Roman beating Cody twice in a row. Obviously, Cody winning the Rumble twice. I just don't see Cody taking another loss at Mania. So I'll give the win to Cody. And with that, I'll pass it to Anthony.
Yeah, I think Cody's gonna definitely win this match. Like you said, we cannot have Cody Rhodes win back-to-back Rumbles and lose back-to-back at Mania. I don't see that happening. I think Cody Rhodes is gonna have the Avengers with him. He's gonna have Jey Uso, Seth Rollins, maybe Sami Zayn. I think we might see a John Cena appearance come out. Maybe help him face off against The Rock or anything like that. I think maybe after the show, we possibly see a Rock turn on Roman Reigns. Him with a rock bottom after Cody Rhodes has already won his championship. Hopefully, I want him to win clean. I don't want him to have help by somebody. If he can dethrone Roman on his own, that'll be incredible. But yeah, give me Cody Rhodes here.
All right, I'll pass it to Lewis.
Well, anything can happen in the WWE, as we've learned just from last year, actually. So I would say this match is basic. I think this was Cody's last chance, even in the fans' eyes, actually, because how long can you go before the audience stops believing in you when you say you're gonna finish the story, you're gonna win that title? So, like, I do think this is the year he will beat Roman and become the new face of the WWE. Yeah, that's it.
All right, pass it to Soul.
So I was there last year, and seeing Cody not win pissed a lot of people off. But I think last year, I think a lot of people just thought, well, he's the new shiny toy; they'll just take it off him. But now, seeing where we are now, the story's there. I think the story's a lot better that is now than it was back then at Mania 39. I think we're gonna get a lot of bloody shenanigans in this. I think Jey Uso is gonna come and then stop Jimmy. I think we're gonna see Seth hobble out of his way and stop Drew, maybe try and doing some shenanigan things there. Kevin Owens and Sammy will come in. Heck, I even think Dustin Rhodes going to come and maybe crossroad Paul Heyman just for the fun of it. There's some things that will make me think it's all too weird about this. Like Roman on the A&E documentary that was done about him saying, like, when I lose this championship, I might as well just retire. Then Cody at WWE Worlds just now said, oh, I'm going to take, when I win the belt, I'm going to rename it the WWE Championship, and I'm going to change the design of the belt as well. You've just brought a new design out already. You're just going to chuck it and bring a new one? I mean, that's a lot of money to spend on that. Unless it's the spinner belt. If it's the spinner's belt, I totally understand. It's the best looking WWE Championship design. I respect you, Cody, for that. You're a good corporate man for that. But I do think, and I agree with a lot of people, like, if Cody doesn't win this, then how's anyone going to look at him the same again? Because not only do you damage Cody, you damage the concept of the Royal Rumble when you've had someone win it back to back and lose it back to back. I've had people say, oh, he's gonna not win it then, he'll win at SummerSlam, or he's gonna win it at a show at Madison Square Garden where his dad technically won the belt, or he's gonna do it on the Netflix premiere of Raw. I mean, like, that's way too long because you're putting a lot of risk factors there. Roman could just go out for a jog one day and tear his ACL on a jog or something like that, or trip or falling. Then you lose all that build to, just life being a bitch. I mean, I don't think anybody wants that. We want this to have a rewarding end. Like the bloodline story in itself, I think people could go back and point many key points. It could have ended here. It could have ended here. Like this is it here. Unless you really want to do Rock versus Roman for the belt down the line or next year's Mania. But do people really want to see that? Do people really want to see a part-time champion go to another part-time champion when Cody's still there busting his ass every Raw, every house show and showing up? So, I mean, you got to give it onto the new face of the company, and that man is Cody Rhodes.
Perfect. And to finish it off, Leo.
I think Cody has to win. I think he's in a situation where it's now or never. Either he wins or he doesn't. And I think if he loses, I think similar to like you said last year, a lot of people were pissed, but I think the reason why they kept it on because they wanted to break that record of him holding 1,000 days as champion. But like you said, the story this year holds a lot more weight than it was last year because what they were trying to say for him, they wanted him to face adversity going into that match with with Roman, and he at that point with him taking that injury, he really hasn't faced adversity going up against Roman. But now, in the grand scheme of things, almost a year later, he is facing adversity with The Rock being there and the people that he has faced this past year up until this point going into the Rumble. And it would defeat the purpose if you have Cody lose again, because here's the actual stat. Everybody, ever since Roman has been champion, every Royal Rumble winner has faced Roman and has lost. And that's crazy when you think about it. Since he's been champion since 2020, every Royal Rumble winner from Edge to literally everybody else has lost against Roman Reigns. So now he has to win. If he loses, people are going to look at Cody as the biggest loser in the company, because what was the point of bringing him back to WWE to begin with? At this point, he should have stayed in AEW, in my personal opinion, if this was going to happen. Because him winning the WWE Championship makes all the sense in the world. It would be a great way to send the fans home happy. Honestly, you already know that there's going to be interference. If it was up to me, I'll send Pharaoh down to get The Rock for after everything he's been saying. Honestly, I just stick the dog on him. I stick the dog on The Rock and let Pharaoh handle him. But I can't do that because it's a PG show. But I do think it's Cody's time. Let him get his moment. This will freshen up the entire WWE as a whole, because it allows more people to kind of go up the card a bit and challenge for the title and get more people opportunities. Because like you said earlier, like with Roman not being there, with Logan not really being there, there's really no champion that's there full time at all. So now we do need a full-time champion, because look at the people like at this point. If you have him lose, you really don't have anybody else, because anybody else that haven't faced Roman yet hasn't been built up to look like a threat to him, and they're going to look like a joke going up against Roman. So they have to give it to Cody. So I got to go Cody on this one.
All right. Definitely looking forward to this Mania. It's last year I had a work night 1, and then I got to watch night 2. So I made sure everything's cleared, so I'll be able to watch this entire Mania from night 1 to night 2. So looking forward to it. But to finish it off, every time me and Anthony have a show, we let the people on share, shout out their social medias and stuff like that. So I guess we can run through that, starting with Soul.
Yeah, so I'm just on Instagram and YouTube. Fuck Twitter. Nobody likes that piece of shit platform. So Instagram, you can find me at thesoulsessionsofficial, and YouTube at thesoulsessionsofficial 2. I've done many interviews. As I mentioned at the start, EC3 and Bobby Fish, some of the more recent ones. My current season, which was my season 3, was mostly focused on UK talent. So I've mostly focused on people from Progress, Rev Pro, Subculture, Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster, the first ever Welsh champions in WWE history. Danny Luna, who's currently a TNA Knockout Tag Team Champion with Jody Frett. Up in Scotland, a lot of local guys from the likes of Daisy Jenkins to Hunter Sampson, Jason Reed with an ICW. I could go on for days and days. Truly a great talent all across the UK. Hoping to maybe do some more international dates in my 4th season, but staying up until 1 or 2 a.m. it's not good for the sleep schedule. But I'm willing, I'm dedicated.
All right, we'll pass it to Lewis.
Yeah, well, you can basically find me anywhere. Just Emilian Lewis space DK. That you'll find anything on, from like matches to interviews to just pictures to frames to whatever. Like, I'm everywhere basically.
All right, to finish off, Leo.
Yeah, so my channel is Kicking with Leo. I do wrestling content. If you guys don't know, you can follow me on Instagram at Kicking with Leo as well. My ultimate goal is 10K on YouTube. Once I hit 10K, I'm going to be doing a giveaway where one lucky fan will have the opportunity to win a WWE Championship from WWE Shop. So if you guys want an opportunity to add to your collection or start your collection, give me the 10K and I will be doing a giveaway.
All right. And with that, me and Anthony thank everyone that came on. It was fun talking to everyone. And obviously WrestleMania 2 days away, so not actually we have Stand Deliver first, but I'm not gonna watch that. So
no one gives a shit about NXT.
I'll watch it just cause, but
Yeah, me too.
I'm more interested in Ring of Honor. Give me Supercard, baby.
I'm watching that on Friday.
All right. Thank you guys for watching, and
Thank you.
I'll see y'all in the next one.
Pleasure.
Thank you.